Chat GPT is a chatbot launched by OpenAI November 30th, 2022, and it's an unbelievable game changer. If you work in software development and aren't utilizing Chat GPT for your productivity, you are a fool. My name is Chris McClure. I've worked in software development for about 8 years, and I know what you're asking. Chris, are there cats on your sweatshirt? The answer is yes. I got this from my family for Christmas, and they're pictures of our cats. But enough about that. Let's get into the video.
So I'm going to present to you 7 amazing uses of ChatGPT for developers. Number 1, better pull requests. A well-performed PR is one of the best ways to prevent bugs, but a common problem in PRs, the reviewer is looking at code out of context. Something like this. But ChatGPT can help you get context quickly. So say someone is putting this as a pull request, a simple bash script. Not super hard, right? But you have to use mental energy to parse it. It takes time, and those are finite resources for a developer. But let's ask ChatGPT. So what we're going to say is that simple bash script from the last screen, we're going to add, can you code review this script for me, and just paste the script in. This is my first warning in the video. Don't paste secrets, passwords, keys, or PII into ChatGPT. In general, keep those things very secure and do not paste them into external websites. But let's look at the results that we get. 2 cool things pop out from that script. 1, gives us the context. Without having to read the code, it can immediately tell us what the code does. And 2, it gives us tips for improvement. Now, I assume we can just paste the output of ChatGPT and we're done with the pull request. Warning number 2, you still need to do a full code review. That's important. We want to use ChatGPT as a tool, a second set of eyes, something to help make the code review process faster and more efficient. Number 2, help writing small bits of code. I don't know if everyone remembers their solid principles, but one of the solid principles is single responsibility. This is where ChatGPT really shines. Here's an example. We're going to have it write a C# method for us. Write a C# method that takes in a JSON object and file path and writes the content to a CSV. Now we could probably do this with a NuGet, but let's see what ChatGPT can do. And bam, it delivers. Easy peasy, right there, code, copy and paste. And how does it work? Well, ChatGPT explains the code for you. So if you're new to it, you can actually learn. Plus, it gives us a nice little heads up to make sure to flatten our JSON object. But I want to use a different library. I don't want to use the Newton JSON library. That takes us to number 3. Make improvements on your code. So we see here there's the little snippet that ended our last bit, and now I just simply type use system JSON text instead. I don't have to paste the code. I don't have to do anything else. It knows the context as long as I'm in the chat, and it makes the changes. So you see here, now we're using the correct library, or at least the one that I want to use for this. And it explains to me what the new library does, how it works, and it gives me that nice little same heads up. It's like pair programming with ChatGPT. You could write code, iterate, and slowly but surely get that code that you want. Number 4, troubleshoot your code. So you're stuck, and I'm sure this has never happened to you. You spent hours banging your head against the wall trying to figure out how your code works. Normally look at where? Google? Stack Overflow? Well, let's try ChatGPT and see what it can do. I went online, looked for a C# link Stack Overflow. I wasn't super particular, so I paste the bad code in. Where did I get this? This is the exact same text that is in the Stack Overflow thing. This is what ChatGPT has to say. It takes and echoes back the problem, and here's what it tells me to do. It gives me not 1, but 2 bits of feedback why this might be wrong and where it can improve this code. And check it out. It literally pops out custom code I can try. How neat is that? And it tells me the why. And let's be honest, the why is crazy important. That's where people learn. That's how you get good. As you don't just paste code, you learn why the code works. Now I know what you're asking right now. Was ChatGPT correct? So let's compare. So here is the code that ChatGPT pumped out. Here is the accepted answer on Stack Overflow. So let's look at a couple things. A lot of this is going to be preference. I don't like the way ChatGPT says not equal to true, whereas the human did it the way I like it down here. Now, ChatGPT used the count method the way I like, whereas the person who wrote it uses the where and then the count method on the end of it. Now, do keep in mind, this question I think is a few years old, so there has been a few iterations of C# since then, but I think the person did a fantastic job, but ChatGPT did it in like 15 seconds. So just make sure to test and verify the output of everything that comes out of ChatGPT. Number 5, translate code. So I have the problem, I know how to do X in one language, but not another. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to take that exact same method of C#, and we're going to ask ChatGPT, can you write this in Python for me? Pretty please. I think you always have to be polite to ChatGPT. Fresh Python code. What's really cool is it kind of gives you a breakdown of what's different between the two languages. Now, I could go find this myself on Google, but ChatGPT gives it to me in seconds. So now I know to use the JSON library, to use the CSV module, and the why and the what. And as I talk about over and over, the why is the most important part. Plus, again, my nice little heads up here. Is it perfect? I'll be honest, if you're a Python programmer like an expert, you could probably look at it and find some improvements. But did it save me a massive amount of time? Of course it did. Does it work every time? No, it doesn't work every time. But let's think about it this way. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds to try this out. If it even works, I don't know, 50, 60, 70% of the time, how much time do you save? And reminder, you need to check and test your code every time. Now, also a quick reminder out there, looks like about 75% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, it really helps my channel. Number 6, task planning and breakdown. Now, I don't see a lot of this online, so I really like to dive into this part. So you call it a spike, call it a research task, call it a breakdown, whatever your org calls it. Your job is to figure out how to do something you haven't done before. Now, normally this requires, you got to read some docs. You got to Google some stuff. You're probably watching some videos. Let's try ChatGPT out to see if it speeds this up. So here's your task. You've been tasked with creating a Redis cache in AWS using Terraform. Maybe you know how to do it, maybe you don't. And I want everyone to think about it. It doesn't have to be a dev doing this. It could be a PM. It could be a business analyst. Let's ask ChatGPT. I have a task to create a Redis cache in AWS using Terraform. Can you help me break down that task? Of course it can. Now in the first part here, we see a lot of setup steps for Terraform. So if you're not familiar with Terraform, this is going to be super helpful. But for those of us that are, I really don't need this. But this right here, this is the secret sauce, the juice. This is what we need right here. This tells me exactly what I need to set up in Terraform and what are the required parameters I need to pass. Awesome. And the rest of this is also more just Terraform stuff, how to apply, how to plan, how to destroy. But you're like, hey, I like step number 4. I want more information. Tell me more about it. Let's dig a little deeper. All you have to do after that is type, can you explain step 4 more? No problem. It then gives you a step-by-step breakdown of that. So in this, we got a couple more Terraform steps that set you up. But this is what I want. That is it. It has given me example code of the resource that I need to create with the required parameters. All I have to do is copy this code, paste it in, and it also gives me an explanation of what each property should stand for. Now you're like, I could go look at the Terraform stock. Yeah, sure you can. But how much faster is this? Plus, now all I have to do is change out those properties to match the things that I need. I want some links. I want to know more about this. Well, let's ask ChatGPT. Do you have any links that could help me with this task? And of course it can. Now it can pump out a whole bunch of links so you can do some more of your own research. So how can we organize this information? How can we make it useful as a PM, as a business analyst, a lead dev, or anybody that's planning these tasks? I created a task in Azure DevOps. Create Redis instance in AWS using Terraform for the Cloud Guy Chris AWS account. I literally pasted in some of the steps that need to be done so whoever's looking at it knows exactly where to start. And then threw in some helpful links so that they don't have to spend time researching. Let's set your devs up for success. How much faster is that? How much quicker can they get their tasks done if it's already laid out there for them with all the resources they need? ChatGPT is changing and improving it very fast. In fact, it changed a few times while I was putting together this video. So if you try out some of the same stuff from this, there's a very good chance you get different input because they're continuously improving it. Number 7, write unit tests. Oh my God, unit tests are boring, but they're so important. They help ensure quality. They make sure your code's good. So let's have ChatGPT write us a couple unit tests, shall we? So what are we going to do? We're going to take that exact same C# method we made earlier, and we literally say, write me some unit tests for this method, and we paste the method in. What do we get back? We don't just get back test methods. It actually pumps us out a full class here with all the using statements we need. Test number 1. Well, let's make sure we can even create that CSV file. Test number 2. Let's verify that that data is correct inside our CSV file. And test number 3. What happens if you have malformed JSON? Are there more tests that could be written and should be written? Yes. Are these tests perfect? No. Let's be honest. We're all friends. Come on, bring it in a little bit here. Moment of honesty. Were you actually going to write unit tests for that? You weren't. So why not just let ChatGPT crank you out a couple easy unit tests that'll save you some time? Could this process save you time? Get you started with unit tests and help you ensure quality? Yes. So let's summarize and bring this home. 1, we can get better PRs. We can help with writing small bits of code. That's where ChatGPT really shines. We can work with ChatGPT to make improvements on our code. You can paste your code in, you can troubleshoot, you can get feedback. You can translate languages from one programming language to another. This is awesome for task breakdown and planning. It's going to write unit tests for you. So I challenge you out there to try some of these for yourself. Did I miss something? Are there great functions of ChatGPT that I did not mention? Let me know in the comments. Did you find this video helpful? Please take the time to subscribe. If you don't know how to subscribe to a video, I have the Google support doc right here on how to subscribe to a video. I'll post that in the description.